Om Shri Sai Ram. My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagawan on behalf of all of us. Let's try that one more time. Om Shri. Welcome everyone to Dallas Sai Center's 100th celebrations for our beloved Bhagawan. And I won't take too much of your time. Dear elders, children, and our esteemed guest, we are very, very honored to receive all of you here on behalf of Dallas Sai Center to ensure that we all have a very uplifting spiritual event today. So, without much further ado, I'm going to invite Brother Murli to introduce our esteemed guest speaker. Brother Sundar, please welcome, and we are very, very happy to have you. We're very thrilled. Thank you. Can we give a Texas-sized one? Very good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Chitra. Sai Ram all. Happy birthday. I'm really honored and humbled to introduce you to our distinguished guest, Brother Sundar Iyer. Introducing Brother Sundar Iyer is something like, a hungry person, you serve him food. And before he starts eating food, you'll say, hey, stop. Let me explain you what is there in the table, in the plate. It's like that. A lot of you know about Sundar. And in fact, yesterday when I was with him at the home bhajans, I've seen a lot of people coming to him and sharing their own experiences, how their life is changed, how they are transformed by listening to him 10 years back, 15 years back. For that kind of person, what kind of introduction I gave? Still, I'll try. There are two phases which I would like to narrate of Brother Sundar. One is during his days in Puttaparthi as a student. One, how he started propagating Swami's teachings to the world across after Swami left the body. So Brother Sundar came to Swami in 1979 as a student. He is in fact part of the first batch of students who Swami accepted after starting institute in Puttaparthi in 1979. And all of you know that how much importance Swami had given to students those days and subsequently also. He received that. And in fact, Brother Sundar is the one who introduced yoga in Puttaparthi. I still remember those days where he used to do yoga on the road. That was a fantastic achievement, and it's well received by everyone. And Swami has accepted his efforts and acknowledged his efforts in that unique gold medal award to Brother Sundar. And he is the one instrumental in giving a shape to our sports meet, which is widely recognized today by all the campuses. He was instrumental for guiding and mentoring the students per sports meet. Then in 1992, Swami performed his marriage in interview room with Sister Maya. And subsequently he came to US and he started talking about yoga and training, conducting it. But the transformation moment came after Swami left his physical body. Brother Sundar thought, okay, it's a time for me to focus on propagating Swami's message across the globe. So he took upon himself, left his official duties, works, job, and started a group called Kaivalya Yoga. I think many of you are aware of that one, along with his wife Maya. And presently, Brother Sundar is residing in India, Kanchipuram, taking care of KYG. With this, I would like to invite Brother Sundar. Simon.
Amazing gathering at the Dallas Center. I've heard so much about this, now I get to see it. I actually get to be in Dallas. So everywhere I went, people have asked me to get a shot. Yes. Have you been to Dallas? Have you been to Dallas? I said, no, it was a while ago. So it is indeed a great honor for me to be here. Thank you, Sister Chitra, for your kind invitation. Thank you, Brother Murali, for organizing my visit and allowing me to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful, most speechless and priceless celebration of the 100th birthday of our beloved Swami, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Today being the 100th birthday, allow me to speak to my beloved Lord, my Master, my Gurus. It's true, I came to speak to you all. But as the procession came and I saw the beautiful feet resting on that footstool and people reverentially placing their head at the lotus feet of the Lord, I said, Swami, let me talk to you today. You can all listen in, of course. So feel free. My beloved Swami, I offer my most humble, prayerful and loving salutations at your divine lotus feet. For the one who is never born, who knows no death, who was born in flesh and born in spirit eternally, forever being born, in every heart, in every moment, in every pulse beat, to you, my beloved Lord, I offer, on behalf of all these beautiful sisters and amazing brothers, thousands and thousands of salutations, koti koti pranam at your feet. We are here to celebrate the 100th birthday. How many lessons have we learned from you? How many moments of transformation in each of our hearts? When I knew you, I was 17 years old. When I came to you, I didn't know who you were. I didn't belong to a family of Sai devotees. I just came there. My father sent me because it was free education. Yet you opened your door for me. You accepted me. As you have accepted anyone who's seeking either a prayer for illness, a healing, or they are seeking higher education, or they are just seeking a chance to serve. Your doors are always open. So thank you, Swami, for accepting me into your fold. And ever since I came into your fold, my life changed because I saw you live a life so divine, so sublime, so serene, so simple, yet so austere that it changed me forever. You have touched me and I have grown. Today I stand here amidst your children, your precious devotees, giving me a chance to serve them, to be a dust at their feet. And I'm honored. Because in them I see your Vishwarupa. I see the cosmic form of who you always were. And you told us so many times, you don't know who I am. You're like frogs under the lotus, whereas the bees come from afar and take the nectar and juice. You don't know who you are. Who don't know whom you are with. Yes, we never understood that. But today, and in this last so many years, I've seen this cosmic form of yours in every heart, every story I hear, everybody's path, the way they discovered you, the way they follow your journey. It's so amazing, so powerful. And so I stand here, humble, that you gave me a chance to be with you, spend moments with you, to discover you for myself. I often wondered, Swami, who you are. What is this avatar everybody talks about? From the day I saw you, my heart kept questioning, and I knew I had to find an answer. Where do you come from? If you're omnipresent and forever present, where do you come from? Swami, as I talk to you, allow me to look at you in the faces of your devotees as well. Where do you come from? Do you come from a sky somewhere above? I know Superman came from a planet called Krypton. Where do you come from? When they say you came as an avatar, you come as a Purna avatar, where do you come from? Allow me, Swami, to offer what I have made peace with, my own understanding. Because today on the 100th birthday, I want to offer this to you. You shared this secret 5,000 years ago in the form of Krishna to Arjuna. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abdukyanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujanmanam. Whenever dharma declines and whenever adharma rises, then I manifest myself. And that's a very beautiful, mysterious way of presenting the concept of an avatar. From deep within ourselves, there was a yearning among those who needed guidance. And our forefathers, our grandfathers yearned, not for a week or a month, our forefathers for over 1,000 years, for over 2,000 years, yearned for a sign. When this beloved country of Bharat, which is the epitome of all spiritual wealth in the world, which was the mother of all wisdom that has spread, where Vedas were born, the Vedas that is all inclusive of all the religions today, because it speaks of the one universal spirit embracing all. In that land, there was a deep yearning for a manifestation to show a way of life. Forward, upward, skyward, Godward. At the same time, there was other tendencies that were pulling us down into derogatory way of life, into a way of life that was impulsive, instinctive, drawn by the sensual pleasures, where decisions and leaders were born out of insecurity, selfishness, where wars seemed to emerge one after the other, where this beloved land of Bharat and that entire subcontinent seemed to be under invasion for centuries after centuries after centuries, and the very tenets of dharma was threatened. It is when the good and evil both reach a climax. From within our hearts, from within the ocean of consciousness that we are all part of, you arise. So where do you come from? You come from within our hearts, Swami. You manifested. You were the answer to our intense prayer, our intense call. And you came to show us how to live a life. And today on your 100th birthday, Swami, let me share the lessons I have learned from this wonderful divine life that you have led. My little perspective, a little blind man's perspective. I want your beloved devotees to go home today with 6 letters that you have taught us. 6 simple words. The first one being duty. You have taught me, my brothers in the hostel, devotees who came to Prashant Nilayam, and all these devotees, you have always been teaching our primordial duty in this life is to find who we are. Our primordial duty as devotees of Sai is to establish a direct link with our divine Sai. You have taught me that it is not important to live on borrowed faith. We cannot live on borrowed faith. It is nice to listen to my stories, Sai. When I share it with my brothers and sisters, they love my stories. I tell them, you can get inspired by my stories. I get inspired by your stories, but your story cannot be mine. My story cannot be yours. My journey cannot be theirs, and theirs cannot be mine. It is so important that you find our direct connection with you. And therefore, you have given us the strength. You give us the strength to explore deep inside our core beliefs. What is it that makes me believe in God? What is it that makes me believe in you as the divine master? You have taught me that it is okay to go within and question that belief and bring forth the answer and demand an answer from you, Sai. Show me a way, show me a path, show me that door where you and I can connect. And that connection stays with me as a pillar throughout my life. You once helped us write a very beautiful drama, Bhagawan, which was the essence of all your teachings. But at the end of every single word that we take home today, there is this underlying principle: God, God, God. Think of God. You think of God, you become God. And what is God? Something more than you. And that more than you never begins to stop. It continues without boundaries. And the discovery of God becomes a discovery of self, the discovery of Sai. The more I began to understand you, the more I began to understand myself, my beloved Swami. In this beautiful verse of Bhagawan, I still remember when you came for the rehearsals, how much you laughed at this beautiful verse when this Pandit would sit here and he would repeat grammar time and again. And he would make mistakes and the mosquitoes bite him and he'd do all this. And Swami, you laughed so much with tears flowing down your cheeks. It was so beautiful to watch you. And yet in those simple, beautiful moments, childlike moments, you taught us such powerful lessons that it is not enough if we stick to grammatical repetitions. Mindless repetitions. And that doesn't mean only chanting or singing. It means our life itself is a mindless repetition of tasks. We get up the same morning, we brush our teeth with the same hand, we like the same side of the bed, we choose our pillows, we choose our blankets, we choose our favorite side, we have our favorite seat in the house, we want our coffee a particular way, we want our diet a particular way, and then we repeat it. The next day dawns. We think it's a different day, but we live it the same way. And somehow, we go through life mindlessly, day in and day out, repeating it, repeating every day the same manner. We have deluded ourselves to thinking we are going somewhere. We follow each other. Oh, I have become young, I have to join my school, we say, Swami. And then I join college, and then I have to get married because there's pressure everywhere. Okay, I keep looking, who's that? That's my partner, Swami. And I say, I get married. And then they say, no, that's not enough, have children. And therefore, Swami, under pressure, we have children. And then I have to find a job, Swami. And then I have to find a car, I have to find a home. And then I get children. And then I tell them, you also have to do what I do. And then we repeat ourselves, Swami, going on and on. Nobody knows where we are going. But you come and show us the way. And you teach us first, find out who you are. I still remember when you sat us and you asked us, when we were asking, Swami, we need this for the library and that for the laboratory. You said, know that one thing by which everything else is known. I still remember that beautiful talk you gave us. In those very early on days, you said, how did the rishis, how did they know so much without all your laboratory equipment, without computers and without microscopes and big libraries? How did they know all this? We kept quiet because we didn't know the answer. And you said, how did they knew one thing by which everything else was known? He said, what was that? And Swami, you said, they know the secret of who they are. They knew the secret of the self. And because that self was a microcosm of the macrocosm, the entire macrocosm revealed itself to them. You inspired us, that end of education is character. And in this beautiful drama, as this Pandit sat and repeated, Shankaracharya comes. And he teaches them this beautiful song. The first song, Swami, allow me to offer this. The way you allowed us to sing in your presence so many, many times. Allow us, because in this song, Adi Shankara says, Mudamate, O foolish one, stop. Stop this endless craving to get this and that and this and that. Know that there is something more in life, and what you do is what you reap. And therefore you showed us the path of service. Let us offer this beautiful song at your feet, Divine Master. And at the end of every lesson, you just teach us, go back to Namasmarana. So allow us to offer names as well at your feet. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Udavate, Samprate, Sadhike, Tare, Aginari, Shakti, Dukhi, Karani, Aginari, Shakti, Dukhi, Karani, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Udavate, Krishna Rama Govinda, Gopura Nandana Bhagawan, Krishna Rama Govinda, Gopura Nandana Bhagawan, Rama Krishna Govinda, Jai Vrindavana Gopala, Rama Krishna Govinda, Jai Vrindavana Gopala, Sai Krishna Govinda, Jai Vrindavana Gopala, Sai Krishna Govinda, Gopala, Gopala, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Gopala, Gopala, Radhe Gopala, Gokulanandana Gopala, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. And then you taught us this beautiful, valuable lesson of discernment. In India, Swami, they call it discrimination, but in the West, the word is forbidden. So the alternative word is discernment. In other words, you taught us to prioritize, bring discipline into our life, and take away things that are not necessary. Put them in the back burner. Not avoid them, not give them up, but put them in the back burner and take one step at a time, placing priorities, focusing on the priorities. And we learned that from you, how beautiful it was. At the age of 14, here's this beautiful, amazing little statue of yours, celebrating the moment, the time when as a 13 or a 14-year-old boy, you declare to the world, I have a mission. I too was 13. I too was 14. I too had dreams. But I didn't have the courage to follow them. I was taught to be practical. I was told, be in the real world. Don't be a dreamer. And I fell for that. But you, who came from the depths of our consciousness to show us a way, set out that as you step out into this life, listen to your inner call. You taught us to follow Swadharma. Your call. What is your call? You followed a call. How inspiring it is. You know, Swami, when we decide to do something, we look for people to pat us on the back. These days, we post it on the social media and look for how many likes we got. If we don't get our likes, we don't get too many people, we say, oh, it's not my call. We want others to tell us, others to pat us on the back. Otherwise, we are quick to blame our parents for not looking after us, not encouraging us. We blame the government. We blame this community. We have tons, a whole list, laundry list of people whom we can blame for where we are today. I have it. It's his fault, her fault, their fault, and so on. But you, when you were that little young boy sitting in that village and said you had a mission, when all around you people were getting trained to take cows to the pastures and sheep to the pasture, you set out to say, I have a mission on earth. What did your parents think, Swami? They thought you were possessed. The entire village thought you were possessed. Yeah. And they physically abused you. It was unfortunate. You didn't have a 911 to call. Yeah. But yet, you had the courage to withstand that. You know, Swami, when we think of your stories, when we hear these stories, when we read about them in the Satyam Sundar, it's very tempting to take you and put you up in the altar and say, oh my God, you are God, you can do that. How about me? I'm just a poor man. I'm just a simple, humble soul. We wear this cloak of humility because that's an excuse for being where I am. But you have awakened that because you didn't come from somewhere else to make fun of us. You didn't come down and say, look at me, I am God, I can do this. You came as us with 2 hands and 2 feet because you yourself said, if I would come with 4 hands, with Shankar and Chakra, you would put me in a museum and charge fees for my darshan. You came as a human being, showed us how to live, how to prioritize what is important in life and go for it, no matter what. Discernment. And in that beautiful drama of Adi Shankara, there comes a scene, Swami, which was you were so fond of the scene. I still remember how you kept emphasizing this beautiful lesson. Because the paragraph is Yavat Vitto Parjana Saptaha Tavan Nija Parivaro Raktaha. As long as you're earning, as long as you're young, as long as you're all of that contributing to the society will draw friends to you, family will like you, and so on. But when you are alone, when your body is burning with fever and you're on deathbed, but who will be with you? Who is other than God? And Adi Shankara teaches us, is it at that time when your body is burning with fever, you're going to chant the name of God? It's too late. It's too late. And therefore do it now. And that's why, Swami, you gave us this beautiful gift of Namasmarana. Now, say it right now, every moment, every day, bring in God consciousness in every work that we offer to you. And so allow me to share this beautiful verse of Adi Shankara today on your birthday, because this drama was so precious to you. You took us to Bombay, you took us to Bangalore, you took us everywhere and allowed us to show this again and again. This was the essence. There is deep wisdom in this teaching of Adi Shankara Bhaja Govindam. At the same time, there is the simplicity of practice. If I want to understand this ephemeral nature of the world, if you will, I don't have to give up my job and run away, but I just have to simply prioritize what is important at this moment, on this day, at this given time. What is important to me? What is priority here? And then I put aside the rest. You taught us that. So allow me to offer this again with this lesson of discernment. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Udamate, Yavavito Pajana Sakta Taval Nija Parivaro Yavavito Pajana Sakta Taval Nija Parivaro Pasya Jivati Jar Jarare Vatango Vina Prechati Vatango Vina Sundara, Sundara, Sai, Sundara, Sundara, Vyagramara, Hare Sundara, Vyagramara, Hare Sundara, Sai, Sundara, Sundara, Sai, Sundara, Swami, you taught us the next beautiful lesson. Having declared your mission, you set out with great determination. Did you sit back, Swami, and just wait for devotees to come? Did you sit back and say, I can do this, but wait, let me get this duck aligned, and then that duck aligned, and waited for all the ducks to get aligned to begin your mission? Did you not wonder, like, I'm in the village, which is not even on the map of India? Why did I speak too soon? Did you not think of that? How did I declare my mission sitting in some unknown village? Today, Swami, we want to start a center in your place. We want to start a temple in your place. All we worry about is location. We want to make sure everybody's car can be parked. We make sure everybody can come, because we say if it is there, nobody will come. And therefore, we make everything comfortable so that people can come. Nobody comes. I wonder why. Well, they do, but we always want more to come. And yet what was that magic, Swami? You took us once, Swami, Chennai, as commerce boys. We were stuck to libraries, and these were the days before Google came. And so the registrar came and told you that the commerce PhD boys have to go to the city, to the Reserve Bank of India library, and they have to get data. And I still remember you said, these boys don't even know how to cross the road. How will they go to the city? That was your love for us. They have lived here all their lives. Do they even know how to cross the road in Chennai? And so beautifully, you took us with you. The four of us, commerce boys, thank God I took commerce, because science boys got stuck in the lab. But in that trip, there was such a beautiful lesson. You took us to a old devotee's house, and you told us playfully, these boys only loading, unloading, చేస్తున్నారు. మంచి story చెప్పు, he said. I still remember that beautiful time when you told her to bring out old pictures and show it to us. And this lady, for the first time, Swami, I saw her, the motherly love to you. She said, no, Baba, I'm not going to bring out the albums. And you asked why. She said, you will take away those pictures. Last time you took one picture from the album, you never gave it back to me. And then Swami said, no, I will not take. Bring them. And those were the beautiful black and white pictures of you in those olden days. But there's one story, Swami, I take home, and that's inspired me. And thank you so much for allowing that lady to share that story. She told us that as a young boy, you would come and spend time in her home in Madras, in Chennai. Madras those days. You would hitchhike a ride and come to Madras. As a young boy in early 20s, come and spend late nights in your home, in her home, and she would actually tell you, please, Swami, it's time to go to sleep. We have to go to work. You can't be doing satsang so late in the night. And you will say, no, bring coffee for everybody, make one for me too. That was your enthusiasm, the energy for you to go out and spread your mission, not wait back and sit for people to come to you. You took that first step. You went into everybody's home, started singing bhajans and encouraging them into this divine path. We have glimpses of that today, Swami, in the form of pictures, in the form of little audios that we get from people who have braved and who are kind enough and generous enough to share that with the world. But here's what that lady said that touched me the most. She said, Swami, if you want to spread your mission, you're such a young boy, we have strings that we can pull in the British government. You let us know one word. We will buy you land in Chennai here and help you set up a beautiful ashram here. You want to spread the whole world. This is a good city. People will come to this city. Who will come looking for you in that back of the beyond place? What a powerful lesson you have taught us here, Swami, because when we think of rational thinking, you broke all those rules to prove a point that if you only believe truly in the depths of your heart, the universe will make it happen. That's all that is needed. And in the core of your heart, I have envisioned that deep existence of the eternal truth. It would have been so easy for you to, Swami, say, yes, buy me the land. You're my foremost devotee. And you could have started a magnificent ashram in Chennai itself. But you told her, no, it has to be back there. That was where I was born. That is where it will be. And she told you, how can I come all the way? Even we cannot come all the way. We cannot cross the rivers and come all the way to you every time. Nobody is going to come there. Please listen. And you were adamant. And she let you go as an adamant young boy, as she says. But look at that today, Swami. It's true, there's not one road. But there are national highways coming, seeking you, helping devotees come to you. There is an airport leading devotees to you. There is a train station there. All roads today lead to Puttaparthi. You made it happen. Again, where did you come from? Not from somewhere else, from deep within our own consciousness, from deep within ourselves, our yearning, our energy manifested as you to show us the way. It is possible. You don't have to have money in the bank. You don't have to have social network. You don't have to have great education. You don't have to have a Harvard degree. You don't. I know there are some lovers of Harvard degrees, sir. You don't have to have an Harvard degree. You don't have to have all this paraphernalia. All you need is who you think you are. Who do you think you are? You gave us that example. I am Sai. I have a mission to unfold. I have come to light the lamp of love in every heart. That was your mission statement. And you followed it with great determination. Thank you for that wonderful lesson, Swami. Hopefully we take that home and attempt to walk in those footsteps with this core belief in us. What is my inner calling? Can I follow my calling with great determination? With clear discernment and with a sense of duty, because that is my purpose in life. That is my mission in life. In that act, I will find true fulfillment. This beautiful stanza that you taught us. In this drama, I still remember Banerjee, this boy from Calcutta. Well, he looked like a king. So he is there dressed up as a king. And every time a king comes on the stage, Swami, you become like a 5-year-old. Your face also becomes like a king. And your whole body language sits up on the chair and you start imitating him. And when then a poor beggar comes, you will become like this watching him. You become one with that. It was so beautiful to watch you there. We will sit and just admire, who is this Swami, we would wonder. Who will become like a king because he sees a king? Who becomes like a beggar because he sees a beggar? Like a 2-year-old watching a cartoon film. It becomes an expression, becomes one with what he's watching, with what he's listening. But in that beautiful king, he says, I am so proud of my youth. I am so proud of my wealth. I'm so proud of all this. And then Adi Shankara comes. And he says, how long are you going to hold on to this youthful state of your body? How long are you going to hold on to this wealth, this name and fame? And you taught us, my beloved Swami, you taught us. Do not rely just on your degrees. Do not rely on your earnings. Do not rely on your youthfulness and your beauty and so on, status. And all these are crutches that you're leaning on. Because they could be there, they couldn't be there tomorrow. What happens when they go? What do you lean on? And therefore go vigilance. And chanting the name of God, find your purpose. And with determination, follow that call. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Gunamate, Makuru Dana Jana Yauri Bhajagarvan, Harati Nimesha Kala Sarvam, Maya Mayamidam Akhilam Vidva Maya Mayamidam Akhilam Vidva Brahmapadam Pravisakiditva Brahmapadam Pravisakiditva Krishna Rama Govinda Kesava Bhagavan Krishna Rama Govinda Sri Gopal Krishna Sri Gopal Krishna Bhagavan Sundara Narayana Bhagavan Sundara Narayana Krishna Rama Govinda Rama Krishna Govinda Vaja Govindam Vaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Mudamate 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 Mudamate. In Sanskrit it sounds very beautiful, Swami, but in English it sounds pretty harsh. Oh, foolish one.
I can't do it.
Chant the name of God. I still remember that one drama we did. I don't regret it, but there was such a powerful lesson you taught us there. Because, Swami, there are a lot of youngsters here. So how does chanting the name of God suddenly going to open the doors? But here's the beauty there. And so let me share, Swami, with these wonderful, wonderful, amazing devotees here, that powerful lesson you taught us. It was 60th birthday, and I had a chance to write a play. I was still very new to you, Swami. I still had Amitabh Bachchan and Vinod Khanna in my blood. And therefore, I wrote this drama here and there. An English story where a student of Swami learns everything in his college, and then he goes to his hometown, and then he meets his old friends, and then unfortunately gets influenced by them and loses track of all the values he learned. And then, of course, he comes back into the fold of Sai and bringing all his friends, everybody gets transformed. But there was one scene there that you called it the rowdy scene, where the student comes and meets his old friends. Yeah, like you guys. I only wanted to be a comedian, Swami, in my acting, but in all the dramas, you made me villains. Mm-hmm. So in this, I was a villain. I was one of the rowdies. I don't know what we were thinking, but in your presence, we actually had a bar. We had wine bottles, of course, it was filled with orange juice or something. And then we had a table, we had playing cards. And some of us even pretended to smoke. I can't even imagine we did that in your presence. I still remember the first time you came and saw. Because your student comes here, Arun Kumar. He was Arun Kumar Tiwari. He was your pet student at that time, Swami. And so he comes, and then we all crowd him, and then we ask him questions, and then we influence him. So that scene was very powerful for you. So you, at the end of that scene, you got so carried away, you walked up straight to the stage and shouted at Arun, "What were you keeping quiet? Tell them what did you learn in my college. Tell them." And this boy was saying, "Swami, but it is only drama." "What drama? Tell them."
Drama? Can you sit?
And we were so shocked. We said, "Oh my gosh, we won't do this again." You went away totally hurt from that scene. You went back into the mandir because you couldn't stand there any longer. We were so ashamed and scared because we never saw Swami react like this in a play. That was the first time we saw Swami actually becoming one with the characters. Of course, later on, like I said, he became one with the characters, and we kind of got used to that. But that was our first experience. And so we went to the registrar and said, we are so sorry. We don't know what to do. We can scrap the whole thing. We can scrap this scene. We can do something. But please tell Swami not to be upset. The next day came. Swami said he's coming for the rehearsal. And he walks in with 2 VIPs. Swami, you came in with 2 VIPs. And you came in, as soon as you came, you said, rowdy scene. Welcome. Again, you would get upset. Again, you would get annoyed watching that rowdy scene. Again, you will walk away. And you come again the next day asking, with 2 more VIPs, 2 new VIPs, and you will say, rowdy scene. You were like that small child, Swami, who likes the horror film, but when it comes, he covers his face with Dharma, that's after. And then he realizes he missed the scene, so he wants to watch it again, and again he covers his face. There was such innocence, such beauty, but there was a profound lesson in waiting. You allowed us to do that play. And you were so childlike that when the president was sitting next to you on your birthday and on the convocation day, the eve of your birthday, and we offered this play, you kept nagging him, you kept telling them, no, these are good boys. They are only acting. They are not rowdies. And this boy will become good. Don't worry. You didn't let him watch the play, Swami. And you were just smiling all the time because you were so concerned that people might misunderstand your students. It took a year later, and when you took us to this Chennai trip, you introduced 2 of us to the VIPs present in your inner room. When they came, you introduced us. And that was the lesson here. What was the lesson behind all this? And the lesson was, this is how you taught us. You introduced us as who? PhD boys, but these 2 big rowdies. Right? And we were so, because from your mouth, we began to respect every word that you said, Swami, those days. So we began learning. I was learning that. And we knew that you would never say such things. And therefore, when you said rowdies, we came and fell at your feet and said, Swami, we are not. He said, I know. And you tell all the VIPs, they, in front of Swami, drinking. In front of Swami, smoking. And you know, Swami, VIPs next to you, they will say, Ayyo, Swami, Priya, Chicha. And you will say, Amma, you don't know these boys. Bombay rowdies, both of them. And see, it so happened that both of us were from Bombay. Oh, shit. Swami, we fell at your feet. And we begged for pardon because we knew you were listening to that play. And somehow we wanted to erase that from your heart. And that is when you said these beautiful words. Even in a play, I don't want you to do this. Even in a drama, don't act, don't think. Because when you think, you become that. At that moment, you may think it is only a thought. But that becomes your swabhava, that becomes your nature. You will become that. Don't even think on those lines. And therefore it is I learned, on that day I learned and began to learn, and even to this day I began to understand the power of thought. Because the mind has no shape of its own, as you taught us. It's like water. It goes into a big jug, it takes the shape of the jug. It goes into a glass, it takes the shape of the glass. Left alone, it has no shape. And therefore it is with the mind. When it thinks of something, it becomes that. At that moment, it becomes that. So Bhaja Govindam, when we think of Krishna, when we think of Rama, we become Krishna, we become Rama at that moment. What a powerful message you taught us, Swami. And that is why you insist on Namasmarana. Sing, you would say. Sing, chant the name of God. Don't come to perform in front of the mics. You taught us that as well. This is not about you performing and showcasing your talent. This is about you serving. And you looked at the tabla boy and said, you play, focus on the talam. You looked at the singing boy and said, you focus on the raga. When you do that, the devotees get the bhava. And I sit on the chair and enjoy bhava raga tata. Because you said to us many, many times, you are looking at me. So you don't know the impact of your bhajans when you sing. I'm looking at devotees' faces. I know all the castor oil faces I see. When you sing all these crying bhajans, I want to see them happy. I want to see people forget their problems in Namaswarana. I want the Nama to lift them up, become Krishna and become Rama. Like Sudama went to Krishna. He forgot his problems. He comes back and there is no more problem. And therefore, let us let go and let God. You taught us this beautiful lesson through this powerful, powerful journey of Namasmरण. To build a relationship with God through the heart. So you open this another beautiful door called devotion. You taught us duty, you taught us discernment, you exemplified determination, and you were the very embodiment of devotion. Swami, we're not even worthy of calling ourselves your devotee. But I know in my heart I can call one devotee, one person, and that is you. You were devoted to us more than we can ever imagine being devoted to you. How many times you went to every little building that was being built with all this enthusiasm? Where will they sleep? How will they eat? How many times you visited our classrooms to see how the classrooms are coming up? How many times you visited our dorms to make sure we are comfortable? Not very comfortable. We didn't sleep on beds. We didn't have air conditions. So comfort has to be defined. But you kept us on our toes. You kept us tuned into that way of life that constantly helped us reach out. You were so devoted. And yet, even to this moment, we feel your devotion pouring into our lives, filling us with your love. Yeah. You taught us that God is more devoted to his devotees than devotees. Because for us, you were a part-time. We had work to do. We still have work to do. We have family to take care of. We say we have schools to go and colleges to attend and careers to take care of. And we have one room in the home, which is your altar. So your heart is filled with all of us. I still remember with my brother, we were pressing your feet in your rose and you were coughing. And my brother was more bolder than me, asked you, Swami, please take rest today. And immediately you said, look behind. There was a little clock. And that had this. And he said, which of these hands are the most important in that clock? Is it the hour hand? You asked us. We kind of nodded because once Swami asked you, I would say yes or no. So we kind of nodded yes. Maybe one did yes and one did no, just to be on the safe side. I don't know, Swami. I don't remember those details. But we kind of nodded and you said, Kadu Kadu. Chinna Mullu. The second hand is the most important hand. You cannot even see that hand. But if that hand stops, the clock stops. I am like the second hand. I cannot stop. Sathya Dharma Shanti Prema Sathya Dharma Shanti. That is my life. I will never stop. And you didn't, Swami. You didn't. Nobody came and asked you, do you want a glass of water? Nobody came and asked you, how did you sleep? Nobody even spoke to you unless you spoke to them. Yes, it was out of great respect. It was that we revered your space, Swami. We could not disturb that space because you're so divine. You were so approachable, and yet we maintained a reverential distance. But there were times I felt, where is your friend? You have a lot of devotees. But I wonder if you have ever had a friend. In that aloneness, you were divine. Among us boys, you were a boy. Among the girls, you were a girl. Among men, you were a man. Among women, you were a woman. Among children, you were a child. But alone in that inner space, in that space, when you sat on that bhajan chair listening to the bhajans, drawn into that consciousness of the bhajan, becoming one with that deity that was being invoked, we had a glimpse of that divinity. In that aloneness, you are God. And therefore, to me, you are the greatest devotee, Swami. You are devoted your entire life, every moment of your life. From the time you were 13 and you declared you had a mission, you never stopped. You never stopped. I still remember in the 1980, when I was in the room, you fell down once in the bathroom. And the elder devotees at that time prayed, Swami, please let us put tiles in your bathroom, because it was just cemented walls and cement floor. And it used to get moss because there's no window in your bathroom. Think of a standing shower shawl, like porta potty type. That was your bathroom, Swami. How did you do that? We do that over a weekend. We come back and we blog about it. Swami, these days we take pictures. This was the room I slept in. And my friends say, wow, man, that's cool. You did that over a weekend. You did that over a boot camp, maybe. We did all that. But you did it for decades and decades. And when you finally moved to the Yajur Mandir, I have not seen that, Swami. Someday, hopefully, I will. But when you finally moved to this beautiful Yajur Mandir, you were on a wheelchair. So you never got to really have a big home, a big room. You never had paintings on your walls. You never had a big flat screen TV to chill. You never had your friends to say, enough of darshans and bhajans, let's chill, let's watch something on Netflix. How could you? How did you? And yet you were on the task 24/7. And that is why, Swami, today we are celebrating your 100th birthday with deep sense of gratitude for you showing us that way and telling us, walk with me, not before me, I am not your follower, you said us. You told us, don't walk behind me, I am not your leader, walk with me, beside me. You taught us to walk beside you. In other words, follow your footsteps, follow your lights. Follow by walking next to you. Thank you, Swami. That idea of intense dedication that you taught us. Dedicate every resource at hand to whatever it is that you have to do. You had one small school, a Telugu school, and you started a vision of a university. Who does that? We wait for money in the bank, Swami, to think of a project. Otherwise, we dare not think of anything. We say, oh, that's just a dream, put it aside. Let's wait for the money to come, and then we will think of a project. And guess what, Swami? Like you rightly said, waiting becomes a reality. We are waiting. You are waiting for liberation. Waiting becomes a reality. We are 5 years devotees, we are 10 years devotees, we say 20 years devotees, we have attended how many satsang, how many retreats. Oh my God, we pat ourselves in the back, 40 years, 40 retreats, and yet we are in the same boat, waiting. Waiting for something, because waiting has become a reality. Yet you showed us that if you have this at your hand, use this. And so use the little school, Ishwaramba High School, the first school you ever started, built in stone, which you said will stand there for over 1,000 years. I still remember you saying this, Swami. Whatever comes and goes, the Mandiram and the Ishwaramba High School will be monuments that will mark this avatar 1,000 years from now, because they are built in solid stone. And in that school, you started a university. And the vision was free education. Free education. How do you dream of free education, Swami, when you had nothing in the bank? And I'm saying this because I was part of your trust. You put me there. You decide to give when you have nothing. You taught us such a powerful, powerful universal law that give and the universe will give you so that you can give more. You taught us to be like a river, not like a big pond, not like a big lake, not like a stagnant thing that at some point or the other will become redundant, stale. You never taught us about holding. You never did. But you always pushed the limits of what you could do. It is like the moth emerging from that cocoon, if you will. The caterpillar slowly transforming itself into a butterfly. We always saw you working, pushing yourself to your limits, pushing others to their limit, always demanding more and more, because that is the way you can invoke the divinity come with it. Yeah. You taught us that no matter what, however difficult it is, let us invoke by walking that step. And therefore that dedication, that willingness to give brought forth the Sathya Sai University. I still remember, Swami, pardon me for this, but I have to offer this today. Today is an honest conversation that I'm having with you. I'm getting a chance to talk to you after so many years. I sat at your feet and I remember elders of the Sai University who were helping the Swami forming the colleges. You asked them, what does it take to make a university? You always feigned innocence, gentle, simple questions. But in that innocence lay divinity. What does it take to make a university? And they answered, you need electron microscopes. They said you need more than 3 or 4 campuses. They said you need this and that. And they went through a list of 5 or 6 huge list in the item, which would have costed thousands and thousands of rupees or dollars, if you will. He said, after that, what? Let us assume we have all of that. None of that was available at that time, Swami. Even the college was not ready. But he said, after that, what? They said, after that, we can invite the University Grants Commission. What is that commission? You asked, Swami. And they said, Swami, it's a team of the most intelligent people of the country. 26, 27 vice chancellors will come. They will inspect and they will give their approval. May or may not approve. Swami said, they are the final authority. Yes, Swami, they are the final authority. And then you, I believe it, Swami said, Boko, then all them. I still remember this elder cleared his throat reverently. Kani Swami, what about this list? And he said, I know about the list. Call them. And they came. The college was not ready. The hostel was not ready. It was being built. You picked each of us. I know you put me in charge of one Professor Jha. I remember that, Swami. Thank you for that beautiful opportunity. You gave us all white pants and white shirts to wear fresh clothes. And you said, say good morning and thank you. Don't say Sai Ram, Sai Ram. They won't understand. You coached us. You coached us. He said, I want them to see you and know what I am doing here. Talk about being under pressure, Swami. You put us under a lot of pressure. But we did it joyfully. But we can't take credit for any of that, right? I was sitting in the bhajan hall when you came out of your interview room and you called them all in. I don't know about others. I kept my fingers crossed. I was thinking, oh my God, and here is the 8th grade dropout. By the way, don't get ideas, kids.
Like that one?
Yeah. Here is a boy who left school at 8th grade. He is now inviting a whole team of the most educated people into his room. He gets to sit on a chair. They get to sit on the ground. What would he talk to them? Swami, every time I have to meet somebody in this world, and they call VIPs, whether it's a rich person or a politician or a big doctor or a big scientist, I take this beautiful lesson.
Okay.
Want me to give Swami confidence, call these people in, like leaders. I still don't know what happened, Swami. Nobody knows. What happened in 45 minutes to an hour? But you come out, you walk into the bus hall, and you ask us, how many of you want degrees in Sai University? And we all eagerly raised our hands. He said, don't worry, you will all get Sai University. And we were so blessed to be the first batch to receive a degree from your divine. Dedication. You taught us to dedicate. Dedicate everything you have at this moment, and it will grow. It will grow. Don't wait for growth to come before you dedicate. Don't say, let that happen and then I will put my best foot forward. It won't happen. Waiting becomes a reality. You taught us that. In every possible way, you have taught us that. You had one small little hospital walking up the hill for a long time. But you dedicated that to your vision. Your vision had already manifested there. Free medicine. There was free education on the side. Free medicine on the side. What valuable lessons you taught us. And when that grew over 20 years, it took for that to manifest into super speciality. Sometimes growth takes time. Sometimes we feel, Swami, that we are small. Oh, the center has not grown. Oh, we are just like this now. What do we do? Children have passed away. Nobody else has come. We were so big. Now we are small. And we think that being small is somehow insignificant. But you taught us that in that being small, you can be the most powerful. I still remember you said the mighty Ganges as a small, the source, at the source of the mighty Ganges, the source is very small. It is just a simple glacier that is melting. You taught us in that simplicity, in that being small lies the power. In that small little village was the power of the greatest avatar trying to found his manifestation and his mission. It was those small little groups of devotees when he was exhibiting his maximum leela. Then it was small. There is a power in being small. You taught us that. And that would grow on its own. So allow us to learn that lesson, Swami. Give us the wisdom and the encouragement and the power to be small, to be proud that we are still a small Sai community. When you look at the world population, we're still insignificant. But still, we have so many to lean on. When you came as Jesus Christ and you left the world, you had 12, only 12. And today more than 1 billion people follow the teachings of Christ. When you came as Krishna and left the world, there were only 5 who truly followed you. The 5 brothers, even they walked into the Himalayas because they couldn't bear the separation. And yet, the Bhagavad Gita today inspires billions and billions of people all over the world, guiding them. That every seed you have sown has always found fruition. Today, it is not 12, it is not 5, it is not 12, it is not 100, it is not 1,000. It is thousands of people you have set forth. And we, as the first generation of Sai devotees, can say we have watched him, we have listened to him, we have seen him. Or if you as a child have not seen him, you can say, my father saw him, my grandfather saw him. How many of us can say that of Krishna or of Christ? You've given us that divine opportunity to be part of this mission of yours. To be those leaders, as you call, leaders like lions among men. Self-reliant, courageous, majestic, just these were your very words when you said, I want you to be leaders among men, leaders like lions. Self-reliant. We rely on you, Swami, because you are our permanent self, our true self. We are courageous because we know that it is you who works through us and allow us to dedicate every moment, every talent, every resource that we have towards this mission. All we have to do is follow it, allow it to unfold at its own pace as per your divine will. So you taught us the beauty of dedication. These are the powerful lessons that you taught us, Swami. Lessons that will continue to guide us every moment of our life. That help us to learn that we are not going to get caught again and again. A day ends and a night begins. And then the day ends again and another night begins. And every time we go to sleep, it's like a mini death, if you will. It's a rest. The world around us dissolves into nothingness in fast asleep. And then we are woken up again to repeat itself. Punarapi jananam, punarapi manaram, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. How do we break free from this? We say again, hold on to that light, the name of God. And therefore, Swami, as we sing this song, as we offer this to you, Vaikunta Paten, lend us your hand, as you always have. Give us the strength to hold on to that hand and lead us through this life, through this war, like you led Arjuna, just being the charioteer. Allow us to offer this song at your feet. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Charanam, Bhaj Govindam, Bhaj Govindam, Govindam Bhaj Mulamate. Not too much. You taught us the power of words. I remember the first time I've ever walked into your room was that little narrow circular staircase and came to your room and bowed and touched your feet, heart filled with gratitude that you allowed me to be there. You said, silence. They're talking. Just the day before, you were all loving to me, and now suddenly you became the master man, the strict dad. Silence, no talking. Yes, Swami, that. Silence was such a beautiful lesson you taught us. Every evening after bhajan, all of us would disperse silently, carrying with us in our hearts the power of your name. Our eyes filled with the darshan that we had, you sitting on the chair. I can never forget those moments. And that's why if I altar at home, I have this beautiful picture of Swami, you sitting on the bhajan chair. So, power of words. You taught us the beautiful lesson, Swami, and we need to learn that lesson. We talk mindlessly. It's not about talking ill of others. It's not talking good of others. It's just unnecessary talk. After every bhajans, we tend to use bhajans as a means to socialize, Swami. Teach us to use that as moments of deep spiritual practice, where we carry with us at the end of a bhajan session a heightened vibrations, and we silently disperse into the night, back into our home, our heart filled with gratitude that we got a chance to tune into you. Please avoid that. We worry about which sari who wore later, which movie we watched, which show we watched, what is the game show going on. Swami, allow us to treat that as secondary. Give us the strength. As we did in Puttaparthi days, there was 15 minutes of always silence after bhajan. Nobody spoke. And all of us dispersed back into our rooms in the ashram or back into our hostel, or dorm, as you call it. The power of silence. The reason why Swami insisted on silence, the reason why you taught us, Swami, is because words matter. Creation comes in space. In that empty space, there is sound, there is vibration. First, there was the word, the Bible said, and the word becomes flesh. The word becomes God, and it becomes flesh. And that word, either Om or the vibrations or the word of the Bible, as it were, it simply is word. Creation, as you taught us, Swami, as I've learned it from you, it's not a one-time thing, necessarily a one-time thing that happened with history. thousands of years ago or millions of years ago. Let science do that homework for us. But as taught in the Vedanta, that source of which you are, we learn that creation happens every moment. That is eternal. The Adi Shakti, the manifestation of that eternal Sat, the Chit, is constantly manifesting creation. There is no beginning, there is no end. But in us, what does that mean to me, Swami? You taught us that in my inner space, sound matters. Sound matters. And Swami, therefore I tell devotees the lessons I learned. I tell them, please watch. What is the quality of the story you tell others? What is the story you tell yourself? What is the nature of your self-talk? Who is it that you see in the mirror every morning? That inner talk is what creates my reality, Swami. You showed me that. And if my inner talk can be very profound, very powerful, then that will eventually manifest as matter in my life. Every television in my house, every sofa in my living room, every person in my life, the jobs that I have today at this moment, the children that I have, all of these were thoughts in my head at one point. And they manifested. How beautiful it will be if I manifest divine thoughts and find divinity itself manifest. And you made that happen. You made it possible. You showed us that with the power of the words, anything is possible. And therefore, choose your words carefully. Choose your words carefully. I still remember the final lesson I learned from you. This power of words that came from your mouth, every single word you would utter so mindfully. Sai Mata, Sathya Mata, you would say. Pardon me, Swami, but those days we never understood what these meant. But there's one incident. I've shared this so many times. Allow me to offer that to you, Swami, because it was one of the most powerful lessons I carry home. Just that one part of that story. I was bit by a cobra. The antidote was not available. The doctor sends word to Chiranjeev Rao in the ashram. Please tell Swami, I don't have the antidote. Sundar Iyer is bit by a cobra. You take. And as you were giving darshan, Chiranjeev Rao Garu comes to you and tells you, Sundar Iyer is paambu karisindanta. He's been bit by a cobra. And then you never get disturbed in darshan. Nobody comes and talks to you. You choose whom to talk to. But that, because it was an emergency, he came and disturbed you, Swami, because of my foolishness. And you listened to that. And the very next second you said, Adi pahambu kada, mullu vadu urke drama chestadu. He said, that's not a snake, it's just a thought. He's just doing drama. And you waved your hands ever so beautifully and continued your darshan. Chiranjeev Rao Garu was so upset. He comes and scolds the doctor. The doctor is so upset. He comes and shouts at me, how dare you tell me these lies? I believe it was only a thorn. We had pictures taken of that cobra. Swami, now I can tell you boldly, because you live in my heart. You're not going to send me home. But at that moment, I didn't want to tell too many details to these doctors because I know many of them come to see you every day.
Don't need all these things.
So I was scared.
They keep talking.
But it was a 5'5" cobra. I had it and we took pictures. It's a proud moment of when a selfless act of mine, which I originally thought I will save the snakes, became a show, a stunt show. And you taught me a beautiful lesson. And therefore, while displaying again to a group of boys, it bit me. And there I was lying, so with a foot literally on fire. And the person who had the antidote, because it was that small hospital up the hill, had locked the cupboard and got for darshan. The antidote was not available. I looked at the clock. I said, if somebody has gone to get the antidote, it will take 1 hour to come. And I realized, Swami, this was my time. And I foolishly thought I'm going to die.
Hey, brother.
You know me, I'm crazy, so I was excited about it. I thought I must exit like Walter Cohen and I see the light at the end of the tunnel. But you have kept that for another day. I know it. I know it, my father. And while I'm in that state, this is happening with Chiranjeev Rao Garu.
Also,
And on that night, actually, I was upset with you, Swami. You know why?
like that.
Because I was thinking, how could you make a fool of me? That's the ego. How could you make a fool of me? I have pictures with the snake. The 30, 40 boys seen it. And you just dismiss that thing, drama chesradu. This is not drama, Swami. This is a heroic act. I caught a snake. And why did you dismiss it off like that? Why couldn't you create vibhuti and send it to me? And I'm suffering with that foot pain. Little did I realize that there's so much more in this. Words matter. Words matter. I couldn't find an answer fully. I knew Swami had something to do with this. Because doctors came to me next day and said, if you say it's a cobra bite, Dr. Patel, his grandsons were in the hostel at that time, Raj Patel. So Dr. Patel, for example, came to me and said, Sundar, I know my grandson I believe saw you catching the snake. How come you're still alive? How come it's localized, not systemic? If it's a cobra, it should be systemic. It should cut the oxygen supply to your brain. You should be paralyzed. You should be dead in 15, 20 minutes. How come you're alive? I said, you're the doctor. You tell me. And Swami, all these doctors came to me. I had no answers. I was confused. Why would you not give me that show of love? That prasadam. How did I know that you had a hand in this? Other than just dismissing, drama chesnadu. You made me wait 1.5 years or 2, I think. I don't know, remember very clearly now, Swami. It doesn't matter. I was sitting at your feet and I got up because the drama boys, we had a lot of things to discuss and you were sharing, guiding us into yet another drama for your birthday. But I remember that that evening, the bhajan started and you said all the boys should leave. Bhajans have started, everybody left. I was the last to leave. I picked up the papers. I kissed your lotus feet and I walked backwards because the room is small. Who dares turn their back to you and who wants to anyway? So I walked backwards and you were sitting with both your elbows like this and you were looking down and then you noticed my foot, just a nasty scar. And you asked Swami. There's a nasty scar, a big scar because the wound became localized. And my foot was swollen, and then finally it healed, but it didn't heal well. So there's a scar there. And Swami, you noticed that, and you said, what is that scar? I looked at you, and I said, Swami, appudu paambu karsunde Swami. Very sweetly looked at, hey, because it was just you and me. You said, hey, adi paambu ka, paamba. And I corrected you. I said, lay somewhere palm. The palm curses sounds. And then comes the power of words. You taught me that the power of words. This is the most beautiful moment. Because you said, Neeku the palm undu Na note nunchi the palm ni eptriki radu. Adi muldu spoke.
Sathya.
Your reality might be that you will see it as a snake, but from my mouth, I will never say it is a snake. It is a thorn, it is a thorn, it's a thorn. Why? Even after 2 years, if I say it's a snake, it will become a snake. It will be a snake. And therefore, that moment was not a moment of display of affection, which would take another 15 minutes for a vibhuti materialized by Swami to reach me, because he has to send it through somebody. He had to will it at that moment because every second was precious. And therefore, Swami, you willed it at that moment. What I thought was a lip of affection was in fact an abundance of affection. You made it a play, you made it a drama, and you made it a thorn. Your will prevailed. Your word prevailed. You superimposed your reality over everything that senses believe this to be real. You superimpose that by simply willing it. It took years for me to understand, and it's still taking time for me to understand the power of words. And because you have come from the depths of my own being, I know that this matters to all of us. To me, my brothers, my sisters, we need to watch the self-talk. What is the story I'm telling myself? Because those words are going to form reality. If I'm all the time telling poor me, I'm confused, I don't know what to do, I don't know. I'm afraid to sing. I'm afraid to speak. I don't know what these people are here. I'm doing this. I'm constantly demeaning myself. Then that is what is going to manifest in my life. And therefore, Swami, you gave us such a beautiful, beautiful mantra. The wisdom of the Vedas speaks in this mantra. What should be my self-talk when I'm all alone? You said it on November 23rd. This very same day, many years ago, 1983, you said, I am God, I am God, I am not different from God. Cheppandi. Say this to yourself. This is the highest form of self-empowerment. I tell devotees, when I go for my yoga camp, Swami, I tell everybody, you don't have to believe in anyone or anything, just believe in yourself. Know that you are connected to the cosmos because you taught me that. You showed me that. I am God, I am God, I am not different from God. I am the Akhanda Parabrahma, the indivisible, absolute supreme. I am Sat Chit Ananda. Grief and anxiety cannot affect me. Fear cannot enter me. I am God, I am God, I am not different from God. I am not different from God. How powerful is that, Swami? There is really no difference between you and I. Which is why one day, as we sat at your feet, you leaned forward and asked, ekkada undi? Cheppandi difference ekkada undi? Meeku rendu cheyi unda, naaku rendu cheyi undi. Meeku kaalu unda, naaku kaalu undi. Meeku kannu unda, naaku kannu undi. Walking, talking, reading, writing, meeru chestunaru, nenu chestanu. What he meant was, you have feet, I have feet, you have hands, I have hands, you do walking, talking, reading, writing, I do the same. Where is the difference? You lean forward, Swami, and I looked into your eyes, you looked into mine, and for a moment maybe I thought there was no difference. But then before that thought manifested, you said, Kani undi. But it is there, difference is there. And then you lean back on your chair and beautifully explain this. Difference ekkada undi telsa? Where is the difference, he said, between you and me? Ikkada undi. Pointed to his eyes. Pointing to your eyes, you said the difference is here. Chupulo undi, you said. So beautiful. Those are Veda Vakyas for me. I'll never forget them. It is in your perception, you said. The difference between God and not being God is a matter of perception. And the next few words were amazing. You think you are an atom in the universe. Avuna kada? You think you are so small and the universe is so big. Ee brahmandalo nenevaru chinna anu. Alla meeru anukuntunnaru, he said. That's how you think. And we said, yes, Swami, of course. We nodded very confidently because that is exactly our comfort point. And then you said, Kani na chupulo. This universe is a speck in me. You think you are a speck in the universe. I think the universe is a speck in me. Chuplu marchukondi, no difference. My beloved Lord, on this beautiful occasion of celebrating your birthday, we celebrate our own divinity. We rise in joy. We rise in confidence. We rise in empowerment, knowing that we are connected to you. You are connected to us. And in that connection, we are all one. There is no division in our hearts, in our minds, in our thoughts. And we embrace everyone and every being as expressions of you. Allow us to celebrate the 100th birthday with the courage to infinitely continue this journey of expansion. And let that expansion of your life become the expansion in our life. So love will have no reason, will have no season, no birth, no death. Allow us to offer this final offering of bhajan, Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhakta, at your feet. Guru Charanam Bhuja Nirbhara Bhakta Sansara Achirat Bhavamukta Sendriya Manasa Niyamadeham Sendriya Manasa Niyamadeham Drakshasi Hridayastame Drakshasi Hridayastame Jaya Panduranga Prabhu Vittala Jagadodhara
Sathya